Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kids TV in a house like kitchen sinks. Now, before we get into this evening story, if you will, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know your city, your state, your hood, your set, whatever it may be that you're representing, and let us know if you're the man or the woman that you proclaim to be. You know, I'm often critical of the system. Often speak about how the system takes advantage of people, primarily people that don't have money, poor people. I talk about how the system overcharges people very, very often. I speak about how there's a lot of good people in prison that don't need to be there. But I've also spoken about individuals that are in prison that blatantly need to be there. The story that I'm going to share with you all this evening is a prime example of one of the individuals that really, really, really need to be in prison. Got a young man, not really even a young man, because at this particular point of his life, when this tragedy, if you will, occurred, he's 41 years old. Jerome Butler. The story occurred in Alabama. He's married to Tanya Butler. They got 2 kids together, a boy and a girl. At the time of the occurrence, they were 12, which was the little boy, and the little girl was 9. We all go through things in life. We all have trials and tribulations in our relationships. We ups and downs. You know, some days it's chicken, some days feathers. Some days you love them, some days you hate them. Maybe not literally, but sometimes it is literally. They had a whole lot of domestic issues between the two. Primarily instigated or caused by Jerome. Had a whole lot of trust issues. See, Tanya was a very fine young lady. It was a black couple. And Tanya, as you can see on the thumbnail, that's really her. Like, she's fine, fine looking young lady. Jerome felt as though whenever he wasn't around her, he couldn't really control her. He couldn't watch her. So that caused her looks, literally caused problems in the relationship. But it was on his end, the trust issues. I know a lot of people like this. You want your girl to be a certain sort of way for you, but when you're not around, why are you dressing like this? Why are you dressing like that? Who you going to see? Who you going to meet? So it puts the woman in a situation where she doesn't really know what to do, if that makes any sense. You know, domestic violence is something that I just don't condone at all. Either way. I know women sometimes get mad and they swing at their dudes and they hit them. And although they may not be able to physically hurt them, but at the same token, I know some women that are getting that ass. You heard me? I just don't agree with anybody putting their hands on anybody. Talk it out. Figure it out. You don't have to put your hands on a person to get your point through, because guess what? Once you do it once and it's forgiven or accepted or looked over, then it's going to be a second time and a third time and a fourth time. At that point, it's on a regular basis. So if you were a man that likes to put his hands on you and get violent, or just his voice is, you can see that it will eventually come or potentially come, get away. When this case, Tanya tried to get away. She's filed domestic violence orders against DVOs. That's what we call it in Kentucky. Although this didn't happen in Kentucky. I want to say it was Birmingham, Alabama. But it definitely happened in Alabama. She attempted to do everything that she could do to keep herself and her 2 kids safe. for whatever reason, she was just consistently ignored when she went to file these charges. There was no quote-unquote evidence, sufficient evidence. Yeah, but I'm telling you, he blacked my eye. I'm telling you, he did this, he did that. Finally got to the point they listened to her. She had some witnesses. He gets charged in the state. Takes it to the box, takes it to trial. I didn't do this. I'm not guilty of this. Judge, jury wasn't buying it. Gave him 10 years. Out of the 10 years, he ended up serving a little bit over 5 years. During this 5-year incarceration, he so-called got himself together. He was taking classes. He understood that he couldn't live this way anymore. I'm sorry, baby. I just want to be a family. Me, you, the kids. I'll never put my hands on you again. All of that is I'm done with that. Had good behavior, wasn't catching a write-up. And that's typically how it goes. You out here beating women, but when you go to the joint, when there's some gorillas in there, some monsters, some goons, lions, tigers, and bears, hyenas, whatever you want to, you in the belly of the beast. Now you on your best behavior. That same violence, that same, just angry attitude that you would exemplify, every time you got mad at your woman and slap her, and now you on your best behavior when you in prison amongst real live killers. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that coincidental? Nevertheless, he was able to manipulate the system. Had people that was in the prison staff or what have you sending him letters of recommendation, and took him 3 times of going up for parole. The first 2 times he got denied. The 3rd time, the parole board, they saw fit to let him out. Despite the letters that were coming from the family, the wife, I'm afraid of this guy. I'm afraid not only for my safety, but my kids. The family saying that their relative, she's not safe. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter that Tanya wasn't safe. No. Parole board let him out anyway. He comes home. It's in 2024. His story is fresh. Oftentimes when you come home from prison, man, you come home and you're just trying to let bygones be bygones. And you're trying to just a fresh start. He wanted to see his kids, no doubt. Ain't nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Can't fault him for that. Jerome wanted to see his kids. Well, as one would expect, Tanya was very, very reluctant to do so. So it was a slow process. She would allow him to see the kids, but see, the thing about fellas, what we don't understand is when we've been gone, he's been gone 5 years plus. When you come home, things are not going to just be the way that they were prior to us leaving, and we don't understand that. We're thinking, okay, I'm home now, and I'm here to save the day. I'm here. Yeah, but everybody has to get acclimated, reacclimated, readjusted to your presence in the household. Now, Tanya didn't take him back, but she was trying to be, cordial, amicable, whatever the situation may be, because she wanted him to be in his kids' lives and vice versa. At this point, they're 12 and 9. Being that he did 5 years, so I guess they were 4 and 7 when he went in. Maybe 6 and 3, just depends. She's allowing him to see the kids. She's struggling. She has a part-time job. Her parents are helping her. She's in school. She's working part-time as a nurse's assistant, but she's going back to school to, become an actual nurse herself. But it's difficult. It's difficult. Jerome wants more. Man, baby, you seen I ain't been doing this. The things I used to do, I don't react this way. I learned this in therapy. I learned this in class to channel my anger and okay, but I understand, but it's only been a couple months. It's not as though this is something that I went through years and years and years of abuse. So because you've come home from prison and you haven't really acted out within a month, it ain't even been a couple months. Now you think that everything's just supposed to just, boom, go back to what it once was? Jerome didn't like that whatsoever. He started accusing Tanya of manipulating, not allowing him to see his kids. She clearly told him, you could see your kids. But it's just not going to be one of those pop-up situations. You can't just pop up over here at any given time. We're not together. You can't do that. At the month two mark, they're getting into it the way that they once did. It's like he never left. To the point to where the neighbors have called the police, just hearing arguments. She's gone downtown twice. Not once, but twice. I fear for my life. I fear for the safety of not only myself, but my kids. I'm getting these verbal threats from this individual. No, he hasn't put his hands on me, but he's accusing me of not allowing him to see his kids. And so therefore, the violence could potentially take place. Allegedly, I'm assuming, Jerome felt as though, are you keeping my kids away from me? And again, Tanya, that wasn't the case. It was just, you just can't pop up over here at any given time. It has to be arrangements. In his mind, Jerome felt as though I love my kids and I'm going to do anything and everything that I can do to be with my kids. But it couldn't have been any more opposite. He gets with somebody that he was once locked up with. One of his thug partners purchases a 9 off the streets. He can't carry no gun. No heat. He on parole. Convicted felon. He gets a 9mm. I think he pays him like $600. He starts to plot. He starts to watch the house. He starts to watch his wife a lot closer. He's still trying to, I guess, be a part of the family, but wifey done moved on. He was locked up 5 years. Over 5 years. I don't have to deal with this anymore. I've moved on. Jerome just couldn't accept that. See, I can relate to that. Not me personally, but I know I've heard people say out of their own two lips, my baby can't leave me and go be with somebody else. We got 3 kids together. At the time, the kids was like 11, 10, and 8 stir steps. Back to back to back. You think my kids is going to be in the house with another dude? He walking around in his boxers. My kids is in the house now. She ain't going to be with me. She ain't going to be with nobody. And he meant that. Meant that. It's a lot of dudes' mentalities. It's a lot of people have that sentiment, and it's not right, because if a woman is not happy with you, why does she have to stay with you because you all have kids? She probably didn't give you 1,000,001 chances, and you just keep getting over and cheating and lying and stealing and manipulating and whatever else that a lot of us guys do or have done. Notice I said have done, the past, pretense. And so she leaves. Despite you done been with 15 women, she ain't never messed with one dude. Or you find out about one dude and you ready to shoot him up, bang, bang. Forget everything that you've done. This is just the mentality of a child, man. Childish behaviors, mentalities. I was once like that. Not like that. I wasn't going to harm anyone, but it was like, okay, well, I've been out here doing this. As soon as I find out she's doing that, I'm ready to go off. But what about what I've been doing? That's not what we discussing. We talking about what you did. But I've never been a violent individual. I ain't going to shoot nothing, kill nothing, let nothing die, man. Jerome, man, that's just what it was. Once he seen that he had no more control over her, she wasn't listening to him, he couldn't manipulate her anymore. Okay, I got something for you. Comes over one night. She didn't know that he was coming over. Uninvited, he comes over. What are you doing here, Jerome? I just want to see the kids. I told you about showing up, without an invite or I know, baby, but I just want to see the kids. Please, can I see my kids? Comes inside, he sees the kids, plays with the kids or whatever. He goes in, he's trying to talk to Tanya and work things out. Baby, listen, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get things together with me. Tanya's had enough. She's not going back. R. Kelly said that when a woman's fed up, it ain't nothing you can do about it. She fed up. Ain't nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do. She's done. It's like running out of love, and it's too late to talk about it. She done. She ain't trying to talk. La 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 la. Infuriates Jerome. Again, he's already somewhat been plotting. He got the 9 on him. This part really, really disgusts me. He got the 9 on him. Despite the 2 times that she had gone down, he ain't been home nothing but 2 months, 2-3 months from prison. He never should have even been let out of prison. Man, he beat the brakes off his wife, did half his time, and they let him come home. The PO, the parole officer, went and tried to have the man violated, sent back to prison based upon the 2 times that Tanya had gone down and filed these domestic violence charges against him, but there was no proof. So guess what? Charges were dismissed. The judge didn't take her account seriously, if you will. Accusations, facts, really. PO tried to have him locked up, couldn't have him locked up. Seemed like a whole lot of people were bending over backwards for this individual, and that's very, very, very rare, because when it comes to that domestic violence, they do not play. I've told this story, or parts of this story, on a previous video. But I had a domestic violence order against me before, 20 years ago. Me and my, at the time, my girl, we got into it. I didn't know initially that she was violent like that. Again, I'm not violent whatsoever. I'll stand up for myself. I ain't gonna let nobody just run over me. But I'm not an initiator of, that's just not what I do. And we got into it about something I don't even remember. Like I said, it was 20 years ago. And I was leaving. I was at her house. I'm leaving. I'm taking my little items. Fellas, we at a girl's house or a woman's house or whatever. We always gonna have something over. Some boxers, some tennis shoes, some, back then, some CDs, VCR tapes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we got over, we trying to put it in our bag or put it in a bag or in our hands, and we leaving, and she throwing stuff. Get out, motherfucker. Exactly what the situation was. My car is parked on the street. For some reason, I wasn't in the driveway. My car was parked like in front of the house. Putting all my stuff in my car. I'm trying to leave. She's literally jumping in my car because she was saying that she had some CDs that belonged to her. So she's in my car. I'm trying to leave. It's already a disturbance. She done threw my clothes. Like I said, the few items that I had over it, all in the yard. She yelling and screaming. I know the police, somebody gonna call the police. I'm calm. I'm like, look, man, just let me go. I'm trying to leave, literally. Verbatim. This is exactly how the story went. See, a lot of people say there's 3 sides to the story. Your side, their side, and the truth. No, there's one side to this story. Unequivocally, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Y'all rock with me. Come on, kids, drink your juice, motherfucker, and get back to the story. Mr. 30 minutes or better. She's throwing stuff out of the car, man. It's like she's looking for her CDs, right? She may have had 3 or 4 CDs in the car. Back then, you had the CD cases. I got like 2 or 3 CD cases. I got all types of CDs in my car. So whenever she grabs a CD and it's not hers or the CD she's looking for, she's throwing stuff out of the car. To the point to where she threw something and it hit a car and the vehicle stopped and backed up. And I'm like, bro, I apologize, man, on her behalf. She threw it or whatever and I'm trying to leave and I can't go anywhere. She's in the car. I know the police is coming. I go to grab her and pull her out of my car. Because she's not in the car, like literally sitting in the car, but half of her body's in the car. So I go to grab her, pull her out of my car. I'm getting ready to go. I'm leaving. You destroying all my stuff. I'm talking about you just throwing anything you can get your hands on, throwing it in the street. Like I said, hitting cars, throwing it outside. There's snow on the ground. It's in the wintertime, obviously. Never harmed her. Never punched her, never hit her, never choked her, never nothing other than pulling her out of my vehicle. At the time I was, I had my money up. Had a pinky ring on, man. I paid $3,600 for that pinky ring. Somehow the pinky ring fell off my finger. Whatever the situation was, it fell off my finger. I lost that. Finally, I get it out of the car. I'm trying to jump in the car. I'm able to leave. She's still throwing stuff at the car. Stuff all in the yard. I just say, forget all that stuff. I'm gone. I don't want no smoke. I ain't trying to go to jail. I'm not a individual that gets into trouble. None of that stuff. Don't you know, man, them people charged me with 4th degree assault, which is a misdemeanor, but it carries up to 12 months in the county jail, and put an EPO, emergency protective order on me, and I was not to be within 1,000 feet of her. I didn't even know. It took me about a week or so to figure out. I go to court. I'm locked up at this point. Put out a warrant based upon what she said. No proof, no nothing. Based upon what she said. She goes downtown and files charges against me. She's swinging on me. I didn't even tell y'all that part. She's swinging on me, and I'm just blocking. I'm trying to, get out of there or whatever. I'm tells the people that she got supposedly her finger was broke. Her pinky finger was broke. She had like a little, thing on it, sling, whatever they put. She tells the people when she goes down there and files a report that I slammed her hand in the car door. I'm like, what? Never touched her. Other than pulling her out of my car so I can leave. When I shut the door and drove out, she was nowhere near the car. I'm thinking I'm going to be able to go in there and explain to the judge what happened or whatever. Judge is talking to me too crazy. Well, you shouldn't have put your hands on her. You should have waited for the police to come. You had no business. I'm like, Your Honor, I didn't put my hands on her in a violent way. Your Honor, I put my hands on like I'm restraining her, like I'm trying to leave. I get blamed. They talk to me like they trying to give me all this time, man. They trying to give me all of this time. Because I wouldn't take the plea deal. Months down the line, the judge got mad because I'm out on a $3,000 bond at that point. Full cash, ain't no 10%, bail bonds, none of it. $3,000 was my bond. Come to find out, moms came through for me, hired me an attorney, paid $1,800 for my attorney for a misdemeanor. And this was 20 years ago. Come to find out, this is like the 3rd or 4th time it was an MO. She get mad at dudes and go downtown and file charges against them. But the prosecution still didn't want to dismiss it. Well, what we do is we'll go 6 months, and if there's not an issue, then... So when they came back to me and said, well, we go 6 months, and if there's not an issue, but do I get my bond money back now? Because it's $3,000. You know what I'm saying? I don't want held up for 6, 7, 8 months. Well, no, you don't get the bond money back. No, I'm not taking nothing. I wasn't trying to take nothing. I wasn't really thrilled about the deal whatsoever. My lawyer, she was cold at going to trial. Marcel Rademeyer, she had never lost a case. Never had lost a case at that point. And she started off as a legal aid. And she's public, defender. And she just worked her way up, and she cared, and she had never lost a case. And she would go to trial quite often. They wanted no parts of her. They came back and dismissed the charges. But look at everything I had to go through. I had to spend almost a week in jail, 3-4 days. The money I had to spend, my mom's helped me with on the lawyer. The bond, I didn't get all of that back. And so my car got towed. I had to get that out. So ultimately, who wins? Who loses? But they just didn't play about domestic violence. And that's the point that I'm making. And that's what correlates what happened to me to this. Here it is. This woman is really going through some things, dealing with this dude, and the court still don't want to give her any sort of relief, any sort of justice. And so you got this maniac that's running loose. Again, he's trying to talk to her after, spending some time with the kids, helping them with homework, doing whatever, fathers do with kids. She's not trying to hear it. Instead of just leaving, trying to approach it, okay, well, I'll just go through the legal system. I know it hurts me, but she's allowing you to see your kids, dude. You just can't pop up at 12 midnight talking about my kids straight. Let me see them. The 9mm that he had purchased for $600, takes it out, smokes her. Goes to his 12-year-old son, man. Smokes his son 3 times. How do you shoot anybody, but how do you shoot your son? A 12-year-old 3 times, goes to the daughter, shoots her, 9 years old, shoots her. Neighbors heard the commotion. They heard the gunshots. They call the police. By the time the police get there, he's gone. It's 2024 at this point. He ain't been out of prison 3-4 months. You got ring doorbells. You got all sort of surveillance in the area or whatever. Clearly he did it. Allegedly, but clearly. Not even allegedly, because he did it. The neighbor seen him running from the house. Heard the gunshots. Heard the argument. Surveillance at the stores that were on the corner in the neighborhood or whatever. Police end up picking him up like the same day or the next day. He's on the highway. He's trying to leave town. Obviously, they looking for him. They got an APB out of my thug family. They looking for him. They find him. Lock him up. 3 counts of capital murder, facing the death penalty. Felon in possession of a handgun, firearm, or whatever. That's the least of his worries. Feds come in, like I said, pick it up. Facing the death penalty, man. They're saying that he arranged this by buying the gun prior to him, arriving. It was premeditated. He goes to trial with it. He's not trying to beat it at trial. Basically, his attorneys are saying that he was just enraged. It wasn't intentional. He didn't go over there with the intentions of doing these things. Yeah, he had a gun, but it was for his own protection or whatever. But whatever the case may be, the jury wasn't buying it, and he got a life sentence. And that was up to the judge. It was up to the judge to give him life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. The judge ends up giving him a life sentence. And he'll never see daylight again. Well, that's fine and dandy as far as him not seeing daylight again, but you got 3 people that you erased from this earth for no reason, in your own flesh and blood, like your 2 kids, dude. 12 years old and 9 years old, and they loved their daddy. They loved him. And his sick mind, his reasoning was, she wouldn't allow me to see my kids, man. So if that was really, really the case, you shouldn't have taken it out on anybody. You should have just gone the legal. I understand that when you want to see your kids, sometimes, some women, Dr. Umar said, say it 3 times, and people really, really understand and get it through in their minds, some women use the kids against the father. From my understanding, it just wasn't the case. He just didn't want her to move on. He wanted to control and manipulate her life. She wasn't having it. Tanya wasn't having it. So you can say all day long that you loved your kids and she was trying to play with your heart. So that made you unalive your kids? You shouldn't have unalived her. But you unalived your kids, dude? Your kids? But you didn't unalive yourself. Not to say that that would have been justified if you did so, but you unalive 3 individuals, but you allow yourself to still be here. But you love your kids so much. This is a sick story. It is. But unfortunately, it's a realistic story. It's reality, man. You got some sick people out here, monsters. And they don't want to see you be happy. I want you to remain with them and be miserable. They can't imagine you, like dude was saying, you're not going to walk around the crib with boxers on in front of my kid. They are picturing what they do. Some men are picturing what they do, the way that, their demeanor and disposition and how they are around the house. So now they're picturing another man doing the exact same thing. You done got my girl and you around my kids? Nah. Nah, that ain't happening, man. So they won't allow the woman to go and be free, be great. It's me or nothing. Again, I encourage women, if you start to see these sort of crazy, deranged characteristics, tactics, behaviors in the beginning, don't laugh and think it's cute. My man don't play about me. You hear that a whole lot on social media. I want a man that don't play about me. All right, be careful what you wish for, because you will get a man, potentially get a man that don't play about you. You see what ended up happening in this situation. I don't blame Tanya. I don't blame the kids. She did everything that she could do. It was the system that failed her. This particular time, any other time, y'all gung-ho about convicting, especially domestic violence, but for whatever reason, y'all didn't take her words to heart. So she's not here and 2 kids are not here. The parole board let him out, understanding that he didn't have a life sentence. He was going to get out at some point. Let him serve all his time out. Did slightly over half his time and got out. She's having issues. Neighbors called the police. Nothing happened. Wasn't no proof. She calls the police. She files 2 domestic violence charges against the dude. Judge shoots it down. A couple months later, you look up, she's unalive. I hope they sue the hell out of the city, Birmingham. I hope they sue the hell out of them. But it's still not going to bring the kids back. It's still not going to bring Tanya back. Pay attention to these things. You see the signs. You see the signals. You understand that if a person is not all the way there, if a person is a sandwich or too short of a picnic, you see it early on. But again, you think that it's cute. That's so cute. He's mad because I went out with my girls. He's going to be mad initially, but he's not going to really, really show out. He's not going to let it be known how he's really, really feeling, because you all are still in the honeymoon phases. But at some point, he's going to bloop out. And when he bloops out, that's when you're going to be like, whoa. I ain't know this motherfucker was like this. I ain't know this dude was crazy like this. You knew all along. But you thought that it was cute initially. Don't play the domestic violence. Don't put your hands on no woman. And ladies, don't put your hands on no man. You don't got to put your hands on each other, period. Sad, man. 12. Can you imagine if y'all that got kids or have had kids? 12 and 9 years old being unalived by their own father, and probably it's like a horror movie, and it's confusion. And why is daddy doing this to us? No, daddy, no, daddy. Daddy doesn't hear it, and unalive shoots his own kids, man. Prison is definitely for some individuals. And this dude, he's gonna get everything that he's gonna get. He's in Alabama too. He's gonna get everything that he got coming to him in the prison system. Jerome, he's gonna get everything that he has coming to him once again. Because in prison, they don't play about doing things to kids, man. Grape, doing things to kids, they do not play. And you best believe that they're fully aware of this situation. Ain't no sense of going to PC trying to check in. You tough, right? He was tough when it came to dealing with Tanya. You was tough when it came to dealing with the 12-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter, 7th and 4th grade. So you get to the penitentiary with them real killers. Guess what? Be tough. Don't go to PC, be tough. That's what you about. And they definitely gonna test you gangster, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive, man. Shout out to R.I.P. to Tanya and the 2 kids, man. Very, very sad tragedy. Just sad all the way around the board, man. Real Kens TV.